Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Nastasia, and today we're talking about something that honestly I'm struggling with right now, and I like those videos best because I want to be as real and genuine with you guys on this channel as possible, and I think sometimes I get caught in the mindset of I can't talk about something until I've mastered it or until I know enough about it that I can be the example for somebody, or I can be able to say I defeated this, but like, I'm never gonna be perfect. I thought, what better way to be able to inspire somebody or just be as real as possible than to talk about what I'm going through and go through it maybe with you at the same time if you're going through the same thing. This is talking about fear and letting fear control my life or your life or all the lives. But before I get into that, if you end up liking this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on a video every time I post. Just to tell you like where I'm at right now, so I've shared in a couple of videos that I have anxiety and depression to be exact, and it has been something that, like, I am so glad that I'm able to share that with you guys and that you can relate, and a lot of you have really loved that and want me to do more videos about my anxiety, which I will, and today is kind of one about that as well. So with my specific kind of anxiety, like what I go through is I'm very controlling of myself and my life, and it's kind of like this gripping feeling of I have to handle something before something goes wrong, or I have to prepare myself before something goes wrong, or I'm sure this is going to end, or I'm sure this is going to be ruined somehow, so let me prepare myself, let me run so that I don't get as hurt, or if I get hurt, at least I know it's coming, at least I'm doing it, at least this, and this. And it sucks, like it really does. And even if you don't have anxiety, maybe you can relate to this, just the idea of wanting to prepare yourself or wanting to protect yourself, building walls around yourself so you don't get hurt. Maybe you've been through something traumatic. Maybe you've been hurt before by different people or even just one person. Maybe it's been so hard in the past for you that it's not only hard for you to trust, but even if you do trust somebody, you're so scared that something's gonna happen, or you're so scared that, like, maybe it's something about being sick or something, like you're so scared you're gonna get sick, or that you're gonna get a disease, or you name it, that you just live in fear all the time, almost like anticipating, waiting, expecting that to happen, because there's this irrational idea that at least if you think about it, at least if you think about the horrible thing that's going to happen, and you just like marinate on it all the time and obsess over it, that somehow it'll make it easier. But it doesn't. It literally just ruins your now and your future. I was listening to a sermon that I love that I will link below, and it's called Waiting Well, and it's from the Village Church, and I think it was from a couple years ago or whatever. But it's incredible. I've listened to it multiple times, and I listened to it this morning because it's one of my go-tos. One of my favorite lines that he says is, "Fearing the day of loss has never prepared anyone for the day of loss." And I might have touched on this like in a video like last year. I don't remember if I did or not. But it's worth sharing. I have this irrational lie in my head that I think the enemy embeds in me a lot of times, that if I worry about something enough, it'll be easier when it comes, or I will be prepared for when it comes, or that will make it not come. And when you say it out loud, that sounds ridiculous, but don't we all do that? Don't we all do that, that we think about something that may or may not even happen, maybe something that literally has no proof that it's going to happen, maybe something that has all proof against that it's going to happen, but your fear is so embedded in you that you think, I have to prepare for this, I have to build a wall around myself for this, I have to scare myself into control so that at least if I get hurt, like I control that. At least if I'm going to be stepped on, I control it, I step on myself. Hurting yourself mentally is just as painful as someone else hurting you mentally. The only difference is that you know it's coming, so you worry about it before and during. Let's take my anxiety, for example. So, I could think every day of my life, I am terrified for the day I'm going to have a depression spell again, where I go through a season of being really down, really anxious, and it's so hard. I'm terrified of that. If it comes, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be so scared, blah, 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 blah. I could live like that, easily. Like, even just saying that, it feels comfortable for me to sit in that because it's easier to give into fear than it is to decide to step out of it. So let's say I live every single day. Let's say the next season of my depression is next summer or something, summer of 2019, and it's October 2018 right now. So if I live every day until like June of next year, thinking, oh my goodness, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When am I going to be depressed? And then it comes and I'm like, see, I knew I was right. Okay, I was right. At what cost though? Because now, every single day up to that point, I've also been depressed, waiting to be depressed. Does that make sense? Like, I've also been anxious, waiting to be anxious. Instead of just accepting, okay, if that comes, then that's okay. Because God's already there. God's already there in June or whatever it is. God's already there. He's brought me through it before. He'll bring me through it again. Do I know what I'll do? No. But that doesn't matter because God knows what He'll do. Then I could live every day until then thinking, you know what? Whatever happens, it happens. That doesn't mean it won't be hard, but it means God will be there and He's really good at doing hard things. So I could live the next 100 days in fear because day 101 is going to start my depression season for a little bit. And then, guess what? I have that depression season plus the 100 days before that I've been worried about it. And then also, guess what? Right when I get out of that depression spell, what's the first thing that's going to happen? I'm going to go right back to, oh my gosh, when's it going to happen again? When's it going to happen again? And then I'm just living my life full of anxiety and depression. Here's one that might hit closer to home for you, because I know it does for me. And this is being really transparent and honest. I'm going to be honest. Like, I wasn't going to share this. But it's something I struggle with a lot. Like, a lot. And there's definitely a reason God has it on my heart right now. It's not by accident. So, for me, and this, you might hear this and be like, that's not even a big deal. Why are you so nervous? It's a big deal for me because it's very vulnerable for me. I have an issue with being scared that men are going to leave me. It sounds so pathetic when you say it out loud because I want to seem so perfect. I want to seem like I have everything together, like I'm not scared of anything. Like, if somebody leaves me, I don't even care. Like, I want to be like that. But I'm not right now, and it's something I'm working on and something I'm learning to accept. But for me, I'm fine with friends. I'm fine with if a friend decided to be disrespectful to me, being like, you know what, I need to take a step back. I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me. And it could be daddy issues. I don't know what it is. But for me, anytime I am interested in a guy or dating a guy, all I'm thinking is, when are they going to leave? When are they going to leave me? I need to start preparing myself for when they're going to leave me. I need to start preparing now, and I make up this entire narrative in my head of how they're going to leave, what the reason's going to be. Is it going to be my anxiety? Is it going to be because I'm too needy? Is it going to be because I'm too clingy or too much? Or is it going to be because I'm so obsessive about the fact that I'm too needy or too much or have anxiety? Or is it going to be the fact that I try to be perfect, or the fact that I'm trying to accept that I'm imperfect? What's it going to be? My mind is set on that cycle almost 100% of the time whenever a relationship is involved. I share this because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only woman out there who has this issue and is a little bit afraid to talk about it because it sounds pathetic. It sounds not Christian enough, because if you were a real Christian, you wouldn't care what any man thought. You wouldn't care if a man left you because you have Jesus. And so if you don't believe that, then you must not trust God enough. And that's really hard because all I want to do is give that to God. And it's an everyday surrender. It's not a one-time surrender and then you wake up and you never have that again. There's good days and bad days. There's good weeks and months and bad weeks and months. That's what anxiety and depression is. And even if you don't have anxiety and depression, that's what life is. Like, there's going to be some good months and then there's going to be some bad months. And there's nothing wrong with you for having a bad month. Letting my own thoughts and the enemy's thoughts get in my head, saying, you better start preparing yourself. You better start building up those 30-foot steel walls. You better start, you might as well just end things. You might as well just walk away. You might as well just run because it's going to happen anyway. Because why would somebody want to deal with you? Why would somebody want to handle all that? You know, you need to be a finished product before you're ready for somebody. You need to be a finished product with Christ. You need to be a finished product with your anxiety. You need to completely get anxiety out of your life before you can have any chance of a real relationship. So you might as well end this now because that's not fair to them, for them to have to deal with you while you're not perfect yet. And this isn't supposed to be a sob story. This isn't supposed to be something where you pity me. I literally am trying to talk to the girl right now who's mind blown that somebody else has the same thoughts as her when she's going through anxiety, when she's going through a relationship, and she feels like her mind doesn't stop. You're not alone, and I'm here right now to tell you that as perfect as I can appear on camera sometimes, I go through this too. So I'm making this, I guess, partly for you guys, also partly for myself. Because when I do these videos, I watch them too. I do. Like, I literally watch them back weeks later when I'm going through it again. And I need to pep myself up. So I'm making this hoping that God is saying something through me that future Stas can look back at and be reminded of. Fearing the day of loss has never prepared anyone for the day of loss. But fearing the day of loss and then that day of loss never coming does ruin all the days before it. God does not want you to be afraid of the things of this world. That is not what he's called you to do. And he's not ashamed of you for being afraid. But he wants to take it away. He wants to take that fear away from you. The hard truth is, the worst day of your life probably hasn't happened yet. Maybe it has. You've probably gone through harder things than me. The worst day of my life probably hasn't happened yet. The hardest day of my life probably hasn't happened yet. But I know for a fact the best day of my life hasn't happened yet either. The best days of my life, the best months, the best years haven't happened yet. So I could live my life fearing the worst day and miss out on the best days. Or I could look forward to all the best days, and then it makes the harder days less hard. When the hard thing happens, God will be there. And God's here right now while you're trying to get through this anxiety too. And God's there on your really happy days, your really good ones. You don't have to know what you're going to do. You don't have to know how you're going to control it or how you're going to handle it. Because he will be there. He will control it. He will handle it. Well, I don't really know where this video went, but know that it's all straight from my heart. And that's something I need to do, is start giving the control back to God. Because I do really well, and then I fall back a little bit. And I think, I'll take this, please. I need to protect myself. I need to do this. I need to do this. And he says, no, 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 no. Because you can't protect yourself. So stop trying and give it to me. Because you can't protect yourself, and in the process, you're sabotaging yourself and everything else. So just stop and let me handle it. And just do what I say. Alright guys, well, I don't know what this was. But I hope it helped. Yeah. So I want you to let me know your thoughts down below. And if you relate to this and you feel comfortable talking about it, I would love to know. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I'm sure you're not the only one. And all it takes is for a few people to say, I'm there too, for everybody to feel a lot more welcome, a lot more included, and a lot less alone. Here's the long video for you guys, and I love you so much. Thanks for watching all of this. I'll see you next time. Bye.